How do you set your photography prices when you're first starting out? It's so hard to know what to charge when you don't really have any frame of reference. It's like, is anyone going to pay this? Am I worth this? Is this enough to make a living? There's so many questions. First of all, I just want to say, if you're not at the point where you can create consistent quality for your clients, if you're still practicing and like figuring out manual mode and half your images are blurry, I would encourage you to take a step back and not charge for your photography yet. Now, I don't want this to discourage you from starting your business because you can definitely do this, but you want to be ready to start with a bang in a good way. And you want to have a portfolio that reflects the kind of work that you want to create. So if you're not there yet with your skills, take a step back and do some more free shoots for families or friends and kind of build that experience and get to a point where you really know what you're doing before you start charging. Challenge yourself to pick up your camera every day for 30 minutes or do 4 or 5 shoots a week, and you'll see that your skill really starts to take off when you focus on practicing regularly. Now, let's consider that your skills are on point and you are ready to start charging for your photography. But this is your first year. Like I said, you don't really have a frame of reference. I want to encourage you to consider doing a portfolio building pricing for your first year only. Now, this is going to do a couple things for you. It's going to relieve the pressure of having to have print prices and print samples and in-person ordering appointments and all of that stuff. You already have a lot on your plate, you're learning a lot, you're considering a lot. So I would just do one set price that includes a set number of digital files, and this can be your portfolio building price just for the first year. And it's really important that you make it clear to clients that this is intro pricing. This is going away after this year as my skill level increases. So this kind of sets the stage for them to expect that your prices are going to be higher. If you were to just start shooting $100 sessions and then a client would come back and you'd be like, oh, it's $800 now, you would definitely lose that client because they probably aren't going to make that jump in budget with you. However, if they know right off the bat that this is a portfolio building discount, they may or may not use you again, but at least they know that if they come back to you, the price is going to be higher. Now, another benefit of doing it this way is that you're going to get more bums on seats, as they say. With having a lower rate, you're getting more people to experience your photography, and that's one of the most important things you can do to grow when you're first starting out. You want a lot of people to experience your photography, have a great experience, and share those photos. It's kind of like a snowball effect where you get those first few clients, they share their photos, and that draws in more clients from their networks and their families and friends. And then it just grows and grows, bigger and bigger from there. You really want to get a lot of people to experience what you have to offer right off the bat. You also want to treat these people like they are gold. They are your best client. They get the full experience, the best you have to offer, your best quality, put all your energy into it. Don't treat them like they're getting a discount and just make it a one and done shoot. Go into it with intention because you are building this experience knowing that they are going to talk about your photography. They're going to talk about their experience with you. So make it a really great one, and they're just going to be so much more likely to recommend you to their friends and family. And that just contributes to that snowball effect we talked about. And again, I want to come back to specializing. I mentioned that in the last video, but it's so important to really focus in on what you love to do. So be intentional about taking on shoots that you love. If you want to focus on families, market to families, take more family shoots. And also it's important that you don't show what you don't want to shoot. So if you have a social media account and let's say you are kind of just shooting a little bit of everything, trying to figure out what you want to do, but you really, really hate photographing babies, don't post those baby photos that you take on your social media accounts. If you don't ever want to do it again, just pretend like it never happened. You know, you can share those photos with the client, of course, but you don't need to advertise it on your social media. Now let's talk numbers. It doesn't hurt to do a little market research at this stage. When you are established and when you are commanding high prices for what you do and when you're known for what you do, it doesn't really matter what those around you are charging. However, when you're first starting out, you want to be at a rate that's competitive. If you don't have a huge portfolio to show, or if the quality of your work is just not there yet, you're not going to get away with charging double what the established professionals are charging. It's just not going to work. So kind of find out what people at your skill level, at your experience level are charging in your area, and use that as a ballpark figure to see where you need to be. Now, you don't need to match this pricing or undercut it, but you want to be in the ballpark just so that you can be competitive. You also want it to be worth your time. You might have a number in your mind, like I don't get out of bed for less than $300 or whatever it is. So set that number, and you might even want to have two different options. Let's say the $300 offer is a 1-hour shoot and they get 20 digital files. Maybe you have a different offer where it's a $500 shoot and they get 2 hours and they get double the digital files. I'm just throwing an example kind of out of thin air here. This may be very different for your market, but I want you to think about having options just as another way to get more people to experience what you have to offer. Having that lower price point is going to get people who are maybe on a tighter budget or just taking a chance on you because they haven't seen much of your work. They're gonna get to experience what you do and hopefully spread the word to other people. Now again, you want to be clear about what that price includes. How many digital files, how much time, are the digital files edited or are they not edited? Be really clear about what to expect and only show your best work. If you're an overshooter like me, you might take 1,000 photos in a session. You by no means want to show your client 1,000 photos. No way. You either are going to choose the best 20 that you're going to give them, or you're going to narrow it down to a gallery of maybe 100 or less and let them choose their favorite 20. But whatever it is, don't show them all of the images. Only show your best work that you would be proud to have someone hang in their home. And don't ever say it includes all the digital files. That can be opening you up for a lot of trouble because people have wildly different expectations about what all the digital files could mean. They might think it's 100, they might think it's 1,000, but again, it's about managing expectations and being clear with your client on what they are getting. And you can over-deliver a little bit, but you want to manage those expectations from the start. Another thing I want you to consider is that you are not your ideal client, more than likely. And more than likely, your friends and family are not your ideal client either. So when you have a price in mind, if you're thinking, oh gosh, I would never pay that, how can I expect someone else to pay that? Just remember that you are not your ideal client. You have different money values than your ideal client, and so do your friends and family. I want to tell you a little story about when I first started. I started out super cheap, just like everyone else does, $100 sessions, you know. But then once I started to learn more about what goes into the business of photography and, you know, really make a plan for myself and where I saw my business going, I started to raise my prices by a lot. And I wanted to run the prices by my mother. Now, my mom is super, super supportive, my biggest fan. But when I showed her my pricing, she said, Holly, no one is ever going to pay that. That is crazy. You are off your rocker. You're crazy. And I didn't listen to her. I felt confident that people would pay if they saw the value. And I was upping my work to a level that wasn't really seen. It was different enough that it could command those prices because it was unique. There's nothing else out there like it, and the experience was really cool. I felt confident in doing it my way, so I raised my prices and I proved her wrong. So just remember that even if your friends and family think you're too expensive, there are people out there who value photography, who have a similar style to you. They want what you have to offer. So find those people and be confident in your pricing. Now, once you have that number in mind and what it includes, I want you to make a little PDF. You can do this on Canva and just have like a simple document that explains your pricing in a really clear and pretty way. And then when you get someone who inquires about your photography, you can send them this PDF, and it looks a lot more legit than just typing out, this is what I charge. So, and I think it helps to book more people also. So don't forget to make it look pretty, make it fit your branding. So once you design your PDF, you're ready to book clients, and now you just have to put yourself out there. If you want to see a more in-depth video on how to price your photography after you're past that first portfolio building year, please leave a comment below and I will make another video for you guys that goes more into depth with in-person sales and that sort of thing. And you don't want to miss the next video in this series. We are talking about how to get clients. So I'll see you in the next video.